gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, the show that brings you the latest and greatest and odd and crazy news from all over the planet. We are the dance competition of your dreams. It's Ashley and Steven versus Odd News. As we go there and bust a move, we're doing the Macarena, we're doing the lawnmower, we're doing the train, we're doing the cha-cha slide, and the Odd News is over there like, we ain't got nothing but this break dancing. And then they do some break dancing, they spin on their heads, and we're like, that's not cool enough. Watch me do the running man. And it's all like, oh, I guess we're done here. And I'm like, that's right, you're done. And we kick them in the groin, and they fly all over the world, and their newspapers just spread into your ear holes where you get all the news. Hi, I'm your host, Steven, joined as always by the amazing, the incomparable Smashley. Hello, Smashy. How are you?
The train of thought was so long. You had me, and then I wandered off, and then you had me again.
I count that as a win. I say is a success.
You entertained me twice.
Just as I planned. That's the goal. This show, the goal is to hook you, lose you for 45 minutes, and then grab you again. I'm pretty sure there's a group of people who just start listening to this show and they tune out until they hear the word vagina, penis, boob, poop, or any other, or nipple.
I will say the chat does perk up at certain points. So I popped onto Twitter really quick just to post that, hey, look, I'm doing a thing, because like that's literally the only time I use Twitter right now. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll check in with Twitter and see what's going on, because I have like 4,000 notifications, and white privilege, Michigan terrorists, and Black Panthers are trending, and I'm like, nope.
You're like, never mind. I'll just
nope.
It's time to ostrich, everyone. Go ahead and plant your face firmly down in the dirt.
Yeah.
And just step back. I haven't had to tweak my Twitter. Sounds really graphic. Hey, you know how you
need nipple grease for your Twitter tweaking?
You need Twitter grease.
Tweet
those Twitters. No, it's a dangerous place, but mine's been pretty positive. I think I've had like a few people who've been like not so positive, but you give people a pass when they're in your list, right? And like sometimes when they just this is tomfoolery, and then they don't post it all day. It's just like a one note. This thing that happened is nuts, and you're like, I'm glad I know that happened, but I'm also glad that this isn't a 75 tweet rant. And that's different than just a straight up, all I do is complain.
I don't feel like anybody that I follow necessarily complains. I just think there's a couple like bigger name people that I follow that I typically enjoy reading stuff just because they have similar views that I do. But at the moment, I don't care to discuss those similar views because I know what I think. I don't need to discuss what I think. I think we've already discussed what I think about a situation enough where I'm just sick of discussing it. I'm like, at this point, like, it's not going to do anything. So unless I'm actively engaged in changing something, I'm done listening to it.
So you're not a fan of staring at goats, are you?
I love So last night, baby was super. I have a gas bubble, and like you could hang me from the rafters and spin me in a circle, and it's just not gonna come out. It's gonna stay squarely in my stomach until I squirt on Jacob at 3 a.m.
Patreon listeners, you can go back and get the pre-show to hear that story. Remember, patreon.com/2dorks and get on the feed for pre-show.
But I was like trying to listen, and I swear, every time Landon talked, he would flip out, and I'm like, so the show, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'll just put him in a different room, and that didn't work. So I missed a lot of the show last night, and I was actually bummed. I'm like, wow, I actually like their show, and I'm not just watching it because I'm sleeping with one of them and related to the other, and yeah.
Well, you know what? That makes me feel good. As long as we have the Ashley seal of approval for whatever reason that may be, I think that's a pretty good deal. I think I'm okay with it.
I do enjoy the goats. I especially enjoy the 2-goat overlay.
We really love our goat our goat love. We love our goat love on Staring at Goats. That's so gross.
I feel
I didn't
like you
mean it to.
should maybe clarify what that show is.
Oh, okay. So, Staring at Goats is a show about quarantine and life in the plaguelands. So, we talk about the latest news that's happening around the coronavirus, which is kind of cool because it's like horseshoes and hand grenades in some aspects, but very dedicated to a particular segment of that type of news. And sometimes there's serious news, and a lot of times there is goofy news that we hear, like the latest story about Mexican drug cartels are having to raise their prices because they can't get the drugs easily from China. That's pretty
I did
awesome.
hear that. That was fascinating.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. There's also the street gangs in Japan are becoming more prevalent, but they're called roulette gangs because they race circles. They race around traffic circles or something, and because there's no one on
That
the
I did
street.
not hear.
Yeah,
That's
that wasn't
interesting.
that was tossed to the wayside. But anyway, we report on goofy
Oh.
stories like that, and then Jacob will come in and be like, "Yes, and the vaccine should be ready based on phase 3 trials that are happening on a blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "Okay, that's science." Jacob does the science part. Landon does the
Wait, Steven, I'm sorry. Based on what?
what? Blah
Could you?
blah
I'm
blah
sorry.
blah blah.
Could you do your very apt impersonation of Jacob one more time?
Well, there's multiple types of tests. You have their phase 1 tests where you go through these types of trials, and the FDA takes care of that, and they do this and it's speedy, and it's supposed to. And then you have your efficacy trials, and your efficacy trials test a little bit greater degree that they happen, and then after that you have your human trials to test on people and see how it goes, and expose people to the blah blah blah. And I'm like, this is genius. Like I feel like there's a point where Jacob's like, I'm host Jacob, duh, 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 and then I see Jacob at work because Jacob is talking science, and I'm like, this is him on a he just switched to conference call, Jacob.
Yep.
He's letting us have it in the most Jacob work science accurate way. Did you just hump the air because Jacob was letting us have it?
Yes, Stephen.
So he is pounding us full of science. it's
oh my god,
it's
you gotta warn me so I can brace the vagina.
okay. Kegel's working out pretty good. Got them going. Got the Kegel moves.
Well, so when I pee and I cough at the same time, it no longer scares me. So I think the Kegels are working.
That's great. There was an ad they were gonna play at the Super Bowl that was gonna show someone
Freedom, baby.
a
Freedom,
woman
Mom.
who just had a baby and like going into the bathroom to pee and the anguish that was, and they wouldn't let them show it because they said it was too graphic and people got upset. There was some rage on the internet, believe it or not.
I did, because I ordered the Freedom Mom kit. So one of the things that honestly, I didn't have much of an issue with. There wasn't a sublime amount of damage down there. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, amen. But I had prepped. Like I got the cold pads. Like there's stuff you break, and I tried one once, and I'm like Jacob. What was he?
You got some
I'm
wiggle.
like, I can't. I'm like, oh my god, my vagina is so cold. And he's like, isn't that the point? And I'm like, too cold, too cold, abort. This is like while I was at the hospital, I couldn't do it.
You're like trying. It's amazing the things you prepare for to go to the hospital and do like none of them. You're like, none of this was useful. They're like, bring candles, get a balloon to pop on or sit on, or a giant exercise ball and do these exercises. You're like, F these exercises. None of this is helpful. This is everything you told me is lies.
No,
the slow
being
dancing.
in the shower. I'm like, you can shove slow. Like if Jacob would have been like, honey, would you like to slow dance? I would have shoved one of the balls up his anus.
Yeah, you just shove it directly up there. There is none of that. And like we went, and Stephanie had to be induced anyway. So they're like, let's plug you up to 75 machines and put all these things up your hoo-ha. There was no slow dancing with all that going on. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, because you have to take your little cart with. So one of the things that came in super handy was, they're like, you're going to be sensitive on there. You're not going to want to like wipe. So I'm like, okay. So they give you like basically a portable bidet. But I got the Freedom Mom one that's like hooked. So instead of looking like a ketchup bottle, which I don't understand how you're supposed to spray your vagina with a ketchup bottle, it's got like a little hook. So you put it down there and squeeze and it shoots back up in your vagina. The other day I was on the toilet and I'm still using that sucker because I'm like, I feel much cleaner
You're like, this is
spraying
pretty
my
great.
vagina with water. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, portable bidet. Hi, Eric.
Hi,
Welcome.
Eric. Welcome to the chat.
And so I had accidentally hooked it the wrong way. So the it just shot out of the toilet instead of back into the toilet into my vagine. So I'm like squeezing it and I'm like, where the heck? And I looked out and like between my legs, water's just going, "Pachoo! Pachoo! Pachoo!" And I'm like, it's 2 in the morning and I can't tell anybody about. I hope I don't forget because this is great.
That's amazing. You're like, I feel like a dude. Look at this. Pew pew. Uh, those bidets.
So good.
Bidets are really fun. We had ours attached to the toilet. It ended up breaking. We had to take it off. But when we had it, if you didn't sit on the toilet, you just turned it on, it would shoot like 10 feet across the room. And you're like, what kind of pressure is going up my butt right now that I use this thing? Like,
You're like not cleaning your butt so much as shoving it back into your butt.
didn't you like sit up there and turn it full blast once because you didn't know to ease it on? And it like just pretty much gave you an enema.
So actually, it was like a year after you got it, and I don't know what I did, but like it was very, very sensitive. And like I loved using their bathroom because of the thing. So I would go upstairs and pee and like bathe in their bathroom like a duck. And so I did it and I like sneezed or something and turned it up to 11 and like it levitated me off of the toilet. And I told Stephanie, I'm like, I think I shot my rectum up into my throat.
I felt water come
Also,
out of my nose.
yeah, that's what it was. Like I was like crying in reverse. Joel, did you see the picture you sent of a tater tot shooting crap everywhere?
Yes, I
That was
did.
so good.
With Jacob's face down in the corner with the cat ears. Hold on, I can show it to everybody because it's pretty amazing. If you're not in the chat, you're wrong, and we need to fix that. That's Joel Aaron. For
so
two things, he was the videographer at Ashley and Jacob's wedding. He's been around for a long time, and this isolation, thank God for coronavirus because it brought him back to us, and that's all that really
I know,
matters.
right?
He's been so busy, and now he's like, well, I'm at home.
Might as well.
Might as well watch Horseshoes and hand grenades. That sounds like
Oh my God,
great
that's
idea.
our new tagline. You're stuck at home. You might as well.
Might as well. Might as well watch it. So, in the life of Steve and Stephanie and Sam, we have a new event coming. Jacob made me reserve it to tell you guys on the show. We are going to have a fourth family member. But this, yeah, it's coming. But it's the fourth family member has a mutation. It's fuzzy and has 4 legs, and we're okay. We're gonna accept it as it is. But this little dude right here is gonna be coming to our house on May 16th. If you're not watching the video, I'm sorry. I'm holding up a picture of a small pupper.
It's a dog.
I
want to call it Dash, and Stephanie's like, no, we're naming him
Dodger.
Yes.
His name is Dodger.
I'm calling him Dash.
No, his name is. You're gonna confuse him like immediately. So you can't see the picture. He's adorable. He's a Brittany Spaniel, which our neighbors are really excited about because they had one, and they're really smart, but they're also really fast and they're really crazy, and I'm like not Jack Russell insane, but like they get really excitable. There was some compromises made. I'm less than excited, but I'm not exactly feeling like the end of the world is nigh. I'm not a dog person, but that's okay because I'm also not allergic to dogs, which is fine, and I'm probably going to start liking it after about a day. So we'll see how it goes, but he's coming. Stephanie's like pooping her pants excited. Sam's super excited. So we'll see. Lots of people love dogs. I don't know if you're aware of this, but you can go to the internet at any given time and see lots of people loving dogs. I'm not a pet person.
I told Stephanie that as long as she didn't walk her dog at Home Depot, like, when we went back to Home Depot, I was okay with that. I don't can you, Someone explain to me why Home Depot is the place to take your dog.
Because they let you.
Do they?
I don't know. Can you take your dog in Home Depot? Like Tractor Supply, you can. Like they actually give dogs treats when you take them to Tractor Supply.
Is that like? I feel like I don't know. I'm like, why? And then like some people don't have great control over the dog. They just have a dog as a I don't
A
know.
vanity
Like,
thing.
some people shouldn't have dogs, and I'm just like, that is an ill-behaved animal, and I want to shoot it in the face because it just tried to bite me as I was shopping, you effing douche nozzle.
Yeah, I don't want to impose my dog on other people. You know, like if you don't want to be around a dog, you should be safe to not be around dogs at Home Depot. You know, you should be able to go to Home Depot with your dogophobia and be like, I'm not worried about anything because the dogs aren't allowed in this place. But then they
I'm
are,
gonna
and you're
start
like,
taking
"No,
a
I'm
cat
terrified."
into Home Depot and just like letting it loose and watching all the dogs lose their shit and chase after a cat for 20 minutes.
Well, get creative. Take a chicken. And then
Or a ferret.
or a
A
ferret.
mongoose.
Oh, let a ferret loose in the PVC pipe aisle. Oh, they'll never find it.
Oh my god, that would be so little I like ferrets. They're so cute.
Never. They smell horrible. I hate ferrets.
They do.
I hate
They
ferrets.
do.
Even when you
I
get them
love ferrets.
deglanded, they suck.
Did
I like
Chris
cats.
have his deglanded, or did he just smell that much?
I think he did, but I think ferrets there's a marmot smell, you know? Like they have a smell one way
like
or
a weird
the other.
Yogurt. Like a musky yogurt.
Musky Yogurt is the name of my Wham cover band.
So yes, if somebody brought a parrot in Home Depot, I would be all about that. But it's the people that bring like the dog that you walk beside that like jumps at you and there people are like pulling on the leash. I'm like,
Maybe if you have an animal that can rip somebody's leg off and you cannot control it, that you shouldn't take it into a shopping place where people bring their effing children and where I bring my legs.
You should definitely have control over your dog. Stephanie's doing all kinds of studying because apparently these dogs take really well to training. I don't know. That's just what I've heard. So she's all over it, and I'm like, call me when the dog is better, and I'll be here. The dog. It's very much a this is your dog establishment that we've made. If the dog whines at 1 a.m., it's your dog. I'll go get the boy. When the boy wakes up at 1 a.m., he's mine. When the dog wakes up at 1 a.m., he's yours. And this is the arrangement we've made. And we're gonna see how it goes.
Yeah, I would be real strict on that up front. You got a trainer, Steven. Not the dog, but Stephanie.
He's like, I'm not doing it. I'm not.
Hey boy.
Hey boy.
Hey boy. Like, honey, I love you, but if that dog pees on the carpet, guess who's not cleaning up in the morning?
Not this
Me.
guy. This guy. I will feed the human baby. All right, let's do a factoid. Bling. The word curry, in a gastronomic sense, is thought to derive from the Tamil kareel, which was a sauce served with rice. However, the phrase to give curry is Australian slang for abusing or expressing anger at someone. Okay.
To give curry? I've never heard that.
I've never said anybody, I gave him curry. I mean, Hugh
I've
Jackman
heard,
probably says it.
Like taking a piss, but not to give them curry. Is that like a... Really? I don't believe that. I'm gonna look it up.
I know 2 Australians I can ask right now because they're awake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be like, look, Ashley doesn't believe this thing on the internet.
I mean, like, this is a stupid question, but you're both Australian. Is this a thing? Do people say to give curry?
Google it.
I guess I could, but it'd
maybe
be way
that's
more fun.
like a new thing because I haven't talked to my Aussie buddy in like.
It might be regional too, you know.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, to give curry is Australian slang to assault verbally or physically. I don't know. I'll have to ask the Aussies. The Aussies, whenever they come in, which they don't do that anymore because, virus, we live in the plaguelands. But when they would come in, they would take over one of the enclaves, which is like a small room you can just kind of go in. You can't reserve them. But they have whiteboards. So they would take one over and they'd write a bunch of Aussie slang on the whiteboard so everybody could start using it. Like ciggies.
Enclave is such a good word.
It really is. But that's what we call them. They're like these pods. But they're really great little rooms. And they would set up and draw on Australian flag.
Aussie slang?
I always, the only one I really remember that I like is Siggy's from the Servo. I'm gonna go down the road, grab some Siggy's from the Servo.
From the
But
gas station.
yeah, cigarettes at the gas station. And there was another one. Oh, what was? There's a slang for like a dude, limey? No, it's like a redneck. I can't remember.
Steve Irwin.
No, he has it's a redneck slang. Oh, whatever. I can't get it. I just like the way they call things
remember somebody saying that because they said it about Steve Irwin because everybody thought Steve Irwin was a redneck.
Yeah, well, I mean, he kind of was, right? Like, isn't there an Australian redneck? Kind of
that's their like
animal handler.
A bogan.
Bogan, that's it. Bogan, that's the word I was looking for. Bogan. I heard that there's TV's Travis knows her. Gidget Von LaRue. That's who I heard Bogan from. In the first season of America's Next Top Podcaster. She was a Aussie who was on the show, and I don't know how she does it because she's all the way across the planet, but she was on the show. And
Gidget.
Gidget Von LaRue. She has the coolest name ever.
Is that legitimately her name?
Yeah, and I think she does a podcast on retro cinema, like 80s movies and whatnot. She's pretty great.
Gidget. That's the bestest thing ever.
Yeah. Oh, and Travis is guesting on her show this weekend. Well, look at that. So everybody look forward to supporting the Legion by supporting Travis and therefore supporting Gidget Von LaRue.
Is it going to be live?
I mean, dude, she's on the morning stream sometimes. I'm like, what time is it in Australia right now? It's like 2 a.m. Like, what are you doing?
What else are you going to do?
Gosh, it's just go to bed. Is kind of amazing. But anyway, world news. Do. No, I'll do it real. Oh, it's not live, but you can download it. Travis, hook us up with the actual name of the show. I think it's Retro Cinema. Not sure. Taiwan launches a new baseball season with cardboard fans in the stands. It's like playing a game. It's like playing a Nintendo 64 baseball game. You remember, like, dude, when they could add like people that moved in the stands in a video game, I thought we had entered a new era of like.
Oh, I never played a sports game.
I played a lot of WCW games on Nintendo 64. They were the best. Because I was really into wrestling at the time, and they were super fun. Like, you could go out into the crowd and, like, grab chairs and junk and bring them back and hit people with them. And I thought they were amazing at the time.
So, like, was wrestling something that you're just like, I realize that this is maybe kind of fake, but I just like watching it?
Oh, you knew it was fake. Like, in terms of... Gosh, okay. Before Scotty hears this from Alabama and comes up here to yell at me, wrestling is scripted athletic entertainment. It is like the displays of athleticism are indeed real. The punches are fake. The storylines are pre-scripted. But my word, does it take a lot of effort to do the things that they do. There we go. That's the jam.
Okay, so that's going to be a show title. What is it? Scripted athleticism? There were 3 words.
What did I say? Scripted athleticism. I can't remember. Now, play back the tape, good. John. Yeah.
What did he say? Scripted something athleticism. I don't know.
I don't know what I said.
It's just... So, Stephanie and I used to watch... what was the Playboy man?
Scripted athletic entertainment. That's what I called it.
There we go. Yeah. Scripted athletic and a nice Og. Fake as shit. I love it.
Og's like doesn't even care. If Jake the Snake Roberts was standing in front of him, he'd like fake.
You're a phony, boo. I've been watching Family Guy.
Dude, if you can jump off a top rope and do a backflip, like, call me. Because that's some talent. I like freaking luchador stuff. It's amazing. It's so great.
I never really understood it because, like, my friends would watch it. And even when I was young, I'm like, okay, this is fake. But it was so over the top that I'm just like, I can't get into this. This is so cheesy. But then I also watched the Playboy Bunny thing.
You did.
What was that called? The Girls Next Door.
Yeah. That was
But I'm just
also
like,
not real in a real
yeah,
sense.
but I'm just like, this chick is so awesome because she likes Hello Kitty. And then like I bought a bunch of pink stuff for a while.
I do remember early on, I think Stephanie and I were married at the time, and I remember her going, let's watch, I got Girl Next Door on DVD. I'm like, why is this okay? And she's like, let's watch Girl. I'm like, there are boobies everywhere.
No, when
And
Stephanie and I watched it, we were just like, oh my gosh, this is so cute and bubbly and awesome. And like, I had, like a pink silk bedspread because I liked those stupid Playboy Bunny Mansion stuff.
and I'm like, yeah. And I'm looking at Stephanie go, you're not turning this off? I'm real confused. I don't know what to do. This feels...
Because it wasn't like sexualized. They were just boobies.
Yeah, they're just running around. That to be fair to Playboy, if anybody has some semblance of what appears to be an art project to the female body, Playboy did it. You go look at Penthouse and it's like, shove this cucumber in your hoo-ha, and it's like not okay. But the Playboy, it was like Renaissance art with a camera. You know what I mean? Like, you painted people back in the day, and it's like, oh, nudity, this is classy. But if you take a picture, all of a sudden, it's not classy anymore. It's wrong. Anyway, it's an interesting... I don't know. Of course, it's objectification. But, like...
I'm just wondering, like... Yeah, Og, I'm like, so how often did you compare Playboy to Penthouse?
No, I'm just saying, that was the jam. That was the difference between the two, as I understand it.
As I like that. I need chapstick. Or...
Oh, no, you can't add quotes right now. I'm sorry. There's a bug in the system. I'll have to fix that. My B.
So there's a website, and I completely forget the name of it. But it was I don't know what. I'm just going to stop because that's a bit. Oh, okay. Moving on.
There was a website, but we'll let you, hey, you get one, I get one. Let's just move on.
He was like,
While spectator sports are in an extended timeout around the world, a new baseball season has launched in Taiwan. But in place of actual ticket holders, crews set up mannequins and cardboard cutouts to sit in the stands. Most carried signs and wore masks for safety, along with some home team merchandise. Taiwan, an island nation, has been more successful than most at containing the coronavirus. The government has reported 388 cases and 6 deaths in a population of around 24 million. Pretty good. Even with the rain delay and without fans, the Chinese Professional Baseball League got some game time in over the weekend. In the States, MLB officials and players have been weighing unconventional plans to get the sports restarted. Is Kim Jong-un dead?
Oh, I don't. Where did I hear that? Somebody said that he was sick, and they're like, no, he's healthy, just does, and then nobody's heard anything from them.
He's comatose somewhere. I think that man is like near dead. Maybe not dead, but close to dead. But if he's not dead, what do you think the chances are that they try to weekend in Bernie's that guy and they just prop him up?
Fake.
They prop him up on.
They're working on deep fake right now.
They might. They're
gonna prop him up on what?
Like some sort of scarecrow thing and just get some wires and move his jaw. Like, I am not dead. My bet is even if he does die, they're not going to tell us, and they're going to play old clips of him from forever ago and like dub a new voice in there. He's got to be. He's not okay.
I feel like that's like you watched an international spy thriller and it starts out with, oh shit, boys, we done effed up. And then they're trying to figure out how to keep it in wraps because all hell will break you loose. And I feel like that's really awesome. And I'm like, can't that be the most exciting thing that's going on right now?
That Kim Jong-un's whereabouts, we're as unsure of his life as we are of Richard Simmons. What is going on?
Yes. Maybe can we have just like a James Bond plot in our universe right now be the thing and
not whatever
everything else be the thing? Yes.
Everything else that's going on, can we just move past it?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't
luxury spa.
Well, I think if they said he was dead, South Korea would just be like, okay, cool. We're gonna come in there then. Just make sure everything looks okay.
Og. Kim Jong-un and Richard Simmons partying.
They're both sweating to the oldies. Dennis Rodman is there like, let's do this, guys. Because Dennis
that would be
Rodman
so
and Un
amazing.
are homies, you know?
What happened to Dennis Rodman?
What, back in the 90s or now? Because he's always been
I
kind of a
forgot
mess.
he existed.
Yeah, wasn't he like into drag for a while with RuPaul? Or was that?
I just remember he had like a wedding dress on, and I remember thinking that it looked really nice with the skin tone.
It probably did. Yeah, nice. It probably did look good. No, he was nuts, but now he's real nuts because he's like, Kim Jong-un's my homie. We're going to have world peace with basketball. But Kim Jong-un's like, that's cool. Yeah, basketball's great. I'm going to go ahead and throw bombs at people that don't really work well. But, you know.
Rodman went full Florida hog.
He did. What do you
We
think?
don't deserve the chat. It's just so good.
they're better than us. They're everything we should be. If you're never here live, understand that most of this show is things we've read in the chat. It's not really naturally us. Like live shows, we suffer because we don't have the chat there with us.
Oh, Steven, if I take a York peppermint patty and rub it on my lips, does that count as some sort of lip balm?
No, it counts as like in the wrapper.
Jacob cleaned his desk, and there's nothing to moisturize my lips.
Thank you for those. But you don't have like chapstick there? No, a York peppermint patty will not solve the problem. You'll end up eating it, and then you'll want like 40 more because York peppermint patties, you taste it, you eat it, and then you want to eat more of them.
It's the last one, so I'm either getting a cavity right on my gum line, or I've got like a really sensitive spot up there. But every time sugar touches like this one spot in my mouth, it effing hurts. And I remember walking the other day because this is what I do in my brain, and I'm like, if I had to give birth again, or like have the pain that I felt when the sugar touched this spot up here, I honest to God, I would have to really think about it.
Like okay, like epidural pain or pre-epidural pain?
Sure, like if I just had to go through it again.
Okay,
like
okay.
The whole experience. Because even with the epidural, the pushing part, I mean, I ripped my vagina till I needed stitches in in that one spot. So, like that was still, I felt that.
yeah, I can imagine.
But it didn't feel like tooth pain is something else, man. Like thinking about it, I'm actually like I hurt everywhere thinking about it.
Tooth pain is a special kind of pain. You're not wrong. It like gets up into your brain. It's like a nerve. It's a what do you call it? Nerve ending. It's a nerve that goes directly into the pain receptor in your brain. Like it doesn't.
It's like a nail.
Yeah, it's like shoving pins in your face. It's awful.
It's run, jump, stop, high.
Hey, synapse. Thank you. Go figure. The science teacher would come in with the right word. Thank you. Run, jump, stop. Is it synapse or synapse? How do you pronounce that, Ashley? I say synapse. Well,
really?
You're wrong or something. No, I mean, I pronounce everything stupid. Synapse. Synapse. Yeah, that's what the Playboy app is. Synap. It's a Synap.
God, Steve.
Beer ordering. Sorry, I was trying to loop back to where we were. What time is it? Small Town News. You guys want to see some impressive setups for streamers? Go watch Run Jump Stomp on the afternoons when he's talking about Nintendo Switch. I'm jealous of his incredible setup. Like you go there,
have a sexy setup.
You go there, and it's like that guy knows how to talk about Nintendo, and I trust him now just based on the background. That guy right there.
I mean, I trust him because he can hold his bladder for like I don't know 4 years. While drinking the same amount of water as I do. I mean, not, nursing, because I can drink you under the table, son. But
now that you've got somewhere for the water to go.
I still pee a lot, but I don't pee as much as I should with the amount of water I drink. I'm like a squirrel. So on each where I nurse, I've got water on my left and my right because I have to hold my boob and squeeze it so it doesn't suffocate my child because the boob meat flares out when he roots his face into my nipple.
This
So
is great.
his nose doesn't have anywhere for holes to breathe. So I'm like, I squeezed the booble so he doesn't die. But so that means I have one hand. So I have water on this side and I have water on this side. And there's water everywhere. And every night I go refill all of my water.
At the boob station.
Learning so much tonight.
It is like every week we're getting more information that we don't need.
Look,
Hey,
this is
you said squirrel and it made me think of testicles because I had a story to tell. I've got a factoid that I learned. We're sitting at the kitchen table and I tell Stephanie because she sees squirrels running around and I was like, the squirrel's got the biggest nuts of any animal in proportion to its body. Like it's got the biggest nuts. And she said, that's stupid and that's not true. I said, no, it is. I read it in a book. It's totally true. And she said, I don't believe you. You're going to have to Google it. So I Googled it, and it turns out I was wrong. The bush cricket has the largest testicles. It takes up 14% of its body. And if you want some understanding of what the bush crickets get packing, it's if human males were to have 6 1-pound bags of sugar per testicle, that's how much weight and how much testicle a bush cricket has. So that's not the end of the story, though. That night, I'm playing Jackbox with some. So I have this small group from church, and we were getting together on Tuesday night to play Jackbox, just have some fun, do some trivia. First trivia question that comes up is, what animal has the largest penis compared to its body? And I misread it and thought it said testicles. And I tell everybody, oh, I totally know this one. And they're like, why do you know that one? I was like, well, literally this morning I was having a conversation about it. They're like, whoa. Please tell me more about why you were learning. I said, well, it's definitely not squirrels. Trust me on that one. And they're like, we need to go back to this when this game is over because I need to know why you all of a sudden had a conversation today about animal balls. But anyway, yeah, I put bush cricket and I was wrong. It was not the bush cricket.
What's the penis?
I can't remember. I was so disappointed in my performance related to the bush cricket testicles that I didn't know what it was. Someone can find out, though. Og says, Steven, if you get a vasectomy, you can beat that for a day or two. I thought you weren't supposed to do that for a day or two, if you know what I mean. Ashley, read the story about the topless women.
Sorry, I was looking at cricket nuts. You were disappointed with your performance. I didn't catch that. Okay, where are we? Topless woman trashes Denny's restaurant in California after going on a rampage.
Okay.
Aren't we?
Oh, it's Florida. It's Florida. We're good. Keep going.
No mooning over Miami, but it says in California.
Why does it say Miami? I guess somebody wrote this and tried to be clever, and they confused me.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not clever. They did. This half-naked woman was topless. Pants, no shirt. But she did serve up her own version of a grand slam, destroying at least 100 plates in SoCal Denny's. The topless woman was caught today, around 11:20, grabbing plates from a large stack in the seating area. Wait, why are there restaurants open?
Because that's a really good point. I mean, maybe Denny's does delivery and pickup. I mean, you got to get your Grand Slam breakfast.
In the restaurant?
So, I mean, they don't lock the doors. Maybe she charged in all topless and ready to go. And she's like, give me your pancakes. Denny's.
Oh my God, I want pancakes. Her rampage went on for at least a couple minutes as patrons and employees yelled for stop. Her only reply was, shut the F asterisk. Oh,
Thank you for reading that character.
And then quickly back to the bang up work at hand. Police showed up while she was still in the middle of her plate chucking riot, eventually controlled the situation, detained the woman. Cops tell us they got a call about the woman at a bus stop taking her clothes off and arguing with people before making her way into Denny's. She was detained and will undergo mental health evaluation. Cops believe she was under the influence of something. I'm still shocked that Southern California had an effing Denny's open, and I'm wondering, like,
I feel like
no, this was the 20th. Okay, so this was, yeah, this is now. Oh my God, there are so many naked women on the TMZ.
Oh, TMZ's all about the TMZ and Fox News. If you want to see celebrities scantily clad, those two websites are the jam. Trust me. If you go to Fox News at any given moment, the entertainment section has someone in a bikini. It's just
These are like women, like, you know, they like hold their boobs, press them, and like, so they're just covering the nipples. Like, this is because it says topless on it.
Dang. Okay. Yeah, that's like when you go up to the bar and they're like, "Schwaboop, let me just perk my boobs up on this table.
Schwaboop.
What kind of deals do you have today?" And then Schwaboop. So there's you know what? Boobies are everywhere.
It says, by the way, the Denny's is closed for regular dining due to the coronavirus, but still open for online order pickups.
Okay, so the doors are open. She could charge in if she wanted to.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was so concerned.
You have been more cautious and aware of people breaking their quarantines than I think anyone else during this coronavirus epidemic. Like, if you were to have a billy club and a mask, you would take out anyone who's walking around in any area at all and kneecap them and be like, how's it feel awesome now? That, like, no one, I've been like, man, those people, look at those people all hanging together. That's just wrong. You get violent with your feelings towards people being anywhere other than their living room.
No one has held my kid, and like 3 million people a day are applying for unemployment because dipshit 1 and dipshit 2 want to go get bird seed from effing Home Depot.
Okay, yeah, you got a good point there.
So, Steven, so I'm up at night quite a bit for at least an hour every time I get up, sometimes 2, depending on what's happening. So I've been reading webtoons because I'm like, I can't watch videos because it bugs him and it wakes me up more than I need to. So, you know, online comics, the webtoons. There's a webtoon called Unordinary, and it's fascinating. So the premise is there's this world of superheroes. Everybody has powers, right? Like, you've got, and they're tiers. Like, you've got people that can, you know, like Jubilee from X-Men powers all the way to you know, Phoenix your face off powers, right?
I love that Jubilee is the minimum power. You're like, pew, look at my fireworks. Pew, 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 Jubilee. Like, Jubilee is the one that you pick as the bottom ranked superhero power on the spectrum, and I love everything about that. That's the greatest.
I just remember thinking, I'm like, I hate this character so much. Like,
no
why
one's
is
like
she
Jubilee.
Here?
This is just more female representation, but they didn't give her anything cool to do. Fireworks, baby.
Like, if a dude's wiener shot firecrackers, it would have been more entertaining.
It's great.
Just say, well, congratulations. So anyway, like, everybody's powers except this one kid, right? And they call him handicapped because he doesn't, like, whoops, I guess that was part of a computer. He doesn't have power. So and like, they just are jackasses to him and anybody that's born in this world without powers. And it's just fascinating. Like, it's this amazing commentary on like society and societal tiers and expectations and like what people would do as a whole if everybody had powers. Like, everybody's super violent and they're like, respect me because I have more power than you, not any other reason, right? It's just I could kill you, so you have to respect me. It's fascinating, and I've been reading that at night, and I don't know why I went there.
Well, I'm glad you told us about it.
Unordinary.
Unordinary. Cool. Those webtoons.
Yeah, if you guys check it out, let me know.
What they got a hold of Stephanie real good. She's got one where there's like gamer people, but they're like real life characters, but they're not. So like there's a barista.
Told her about that one.
Oh gosh, there's like a barista and his name is Link and he's got blonde hair, but he's not really Link, but he kind of is, and it's like all this stuff, and she's super duper into it. And I'll be like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I was reading my webtoon." I was like, "It's 11:30. I know." Just reading my webtoon, and I didn't even know.
I texted her last night.
I didn't even know what a webtoon was. And it's like, so it's like Pinterest. Pinterest, there, I know about websites when they happen. Like, I am in tune with the internet. Like, if something is occurring, I'm practically aware that it exists in some circles. I mean, I have an account on Ello, for crying out loud. That's the social network that just, right? I was on that when it first launched and all this stuff. And then, like, one day, there's Pinterest. And Stephanie's like, yeah, I found this on Pinterest. I'm like, what's a Pinterest? So I'm sitting there like, surely, I mean, this was a few years ago. I'm like, surely that Pinterest is like not a big site. It's just a thing, right? There's 500,000 plus people on Pinterest. What is it and where did it come from? So I get an account on it like, this is like Reddit, but targeted at women. Like, it has a very distinct, and then like, because it was funny because every person in Stephanie's circle of friends that are women knew about Pinterest. Every dude I knew was like, what's a Pinterest? They targeted it and they nailed it. They got it right. They bam, demographic done. So I'm like, was that like
I've never thought about that.
Yeah, because you could go on there and it's like, oh, let me decorate my house, or like, what is different playhouses I want to build and stuff. I'm not saying it's not cool to use Pinterest. I've used Pinterest to find ideas for stuff, but I'm talking about the origination of it seemed to be heavily skewed towards women. Because I would go to reddit.com/r/DIY or woodworking or whatever to find my information, but she found it through the Pinterest. And then I'm like, oh, wow, that's amazing. How did this happen, and where did it come from, and why did it grow sight unseen, in under the radar? It is great. So I'm not saying I don't like it
so much, because I hated it. Like, I remember Shanielle was all about Pinterest, and I was very similar. She's like, it's an online pin board. I'm like,
yeah,
I
like,
didn't
what
do
does
a
that
real
mean?
life pin. Like, okay, but I did use Pinterest for the house renovations.
Right? You get ideas.
Well, I just wanted the pictures and then like directions, right? But like I don't I have Pinterest on my phone and I've got the board for the house stuff, and I would add stuff to it and then never think about looking at it
Oh,
again.
yeah. No, I've done that before. I've made a board and been like, look at all these cool ideas, and never been back. But I think the thing about it is it targeted women who wanted to decorate things, and it managed to do it like in a way that even if you didn't understand internet, you had Pinterest. Like, the person you just referenced having Pinterest, I don't see as a tech person, and probably just has Facebook on their phone and maybe Instagram, and then Pinterest. And it's like, how did you get the people that don't care about apps to care about an app? Like, this, everyone that doesn't care at all about tech things knows about Pinterest and is on it and gets it and knows how to pin things and has it figured out. I'm like, it's a masterclass, and I need somebody to explain. I need whoever designed it to be like, this is what I did and this is how I hooked everybody. And it'd be fascinating to me. But yeah,
so like when I do hop on Pinterest, I'm like, well, because like, the first couple of days, I'm just like, I didn't have anything interesting on my phone because I'm just like, there's one game on there and there's 2 social media sites that I'm not using. So my phone is zero interesting while I'll watch a lot of YouTube, right? So I'm like, well, I haven't checked on Pinterest in like 8 months. So it's on Pinterest. And it's just like all ads. And I'm like, I hate Pinterest. Like, I hate Pinterest. I looked at it for haircuts.
Yeah, that's another good use.
And then like how to renovate a 12 by 12 bathroom, because I didn't know how to. I'm like, Jacob, how are we gonna do this? And then Pinteresting, we use Jacob. I need to stop talking and we could read a story.
Yeah, Jacob has a really great vision without Pinterest. I can't see like he sees. He looked at your house when it had walls in it and was like, yeah, we'll just knock all this crap out and make this. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like,
I was so angry. I remember calling my mom. I'm like, I don't want this house. This is a piece of shit. I got railroaded. I don't like, this is awful. I hate my life. I can't believe I'm going to be here for the next 15 effing years. F this place. F everybody here. And then I'm just like, oh, okay.
He built you a real nice bathroom. A real nice bathroom. It's real pretty. Anyway,
I like it.
special section. We'll crank through these because I'm sure Tater's going to get restless. Oh boy, this is a good one. It is wrong to use 2 spaces between sentences. Microsoft Word says, this boy, if you've been writing.
Kelly's going to love this.
Yeah, Microsoft has made its typographical decree. 2 spaces between sentences is too many. The style choice will now be marked as an error in Microsoft Word, and users who press the spacebar twice after a period will be met with those dreaded blue squiggly lines. The habit, this is cool. I read this recently when this guy announced it. The habit of using 2 spaces is a relic of the era of typewriters when type a space twice to more clearly define the end of a sentence. Back then, characters were monospaced, meaning there's the same amount of space between each character. So without putting 2 spaces, it was difficult to discern where a sentence ended, especially if you were speed reading or if you were just a good reader. You could easily skip a period and be like, oh, shoot, that sentence ended and I didn't notice.
That's how you end up with a baby.
God. You're right. So now fonts are adjusted so that you don't have that problem like you used to have. So very few style guides advise using 2 spaces after a period. The APA, Chicago Manual of Style, AP, and U.S. Government Printing Office Style Manual all recommend a single space between sentences. The contemporary benefits of using it are few, aside from taking up more space on the page. I have not used a double-spaced sentence since typing class in 10th grade. And I shouldn't have been using it then because that was stupid. But they made us. They told us that's how it works. But I never got in the habit of it, you know?
Kelly's like, on a bad day, I'll just reject a manuscript that has double spaces between it.
See, this is what you need to know, folks. This is the hard-hitting information from Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. Because if you want to be a writer and you submit to our good friend Kelly, as we all should, submit to Kelly.
Oh my God, that needs to be a shirt. Please, Curse Dragon Ship. Oh my God, we need that. Okay, sorry. That was so exciting. Steve, that's so good. Somebody make that shirt. Scott J! Yes! Sorry, that was just so good.
Submit. But no, it's you if you submit to her, you're not gonna get in because she's gonna be like, whatever, I'm throwing this away. Try again next time.
So I will say, like, I don't know. There was somebody that submitted a story for review before it got to Kelly for our anthology, and I edited it 5 times, and every time I'm like, okay, you've got this issue, I don't know about this, and I'm worried about like reader sensitivity and yada yada yada. And so time it would come back and like certain things would be fixed and other things wouldn't. And I'm like, I don't know how Kelly does this because like this is so like, how do you explain it? And then when people argue with you, I'm just like, I'm not like, it isn't. But Steven knows who I'm talking about, and I'm sure he can see how this would be an issue. But I like, and then finally they're like, okay, this is, can you turn this in for me? And I'm like,
like, well,
it's been sitting in my email. I'm like, should I send this on?
Yeah, there's things you can argue, and Kelly kind of taught me a little bit about this in the last anthology. It's like when it comes to voice and dialogue kind of stuff and character choices, like you can give suggestions about like, well, this is character choice, but it's not really driving anything forward. But at that point, it's like how much of it is flavor versus how much of it is really useful. And flavor's good, though. Like, flavor's important. It gives something a uniqueness. But then there's, like, grammar. You just don't argue grammar. Like, if it's in the dialogue, sometimes that can be a pass. Because it depends on the characters. Like, particularly if you're doing, like, an old-school country boy. Or you're Hagrid. Yeah. Lord help me if I had to write a Scottish accent, because I don't know how she did it. She did it well, but if I have to put that many apostrophes in anything, I'm going to lose it. Like it did like summit. I remember reading summit. I was like, what's that mean? That's how Scottish people say something. Summit.
Something, yeah.
And it works, but you have to be really, really careful with it. Yeah, like Kelly says, you have to find a publisher who understands you, and that helps a lot. She had to fight a little bit tooth and nail for some of my choices with her copy editor. I remember that because she was like, "This is Steven's voice, and we shall not strip it." It was pretty great.
I love the voices and stuff. It's just like anything that makes my brain break while I'm reading it, like especially, and this was when I was looking over this one in particular, it was time jumps. And I'm like,
yeah.
literally what in the, and then there were two characters that were brothers that were completely interchangeable, and I'm like, okay, you just skipped ahead 10 years, switched to this other brother, and then switched to another character and went back 10 years in the same paragraph, and my face just exploded.
I cannot handle the time jumps. It's hard, man.
So I don't know how she does it and still maintains, like, because when Kelly makes like suggestions and stuff, I don't feel personally attacked.
No, I never do.
And I don't know how she does that. It's a magical thing. Basically, submit to Kelly, Cursed Dragon Ship.
Yeah, she's really great at what she does. News better left untold. Drive-thrus. Oh wait, Oregon Strip Club creates drive-thru experience during coronavirus lockdown. People are super stoked. Drive-thrus aren't just for fast food anymore. Quick blurb. Do you remember Dr. Feelgood's had the topless car wash?
Dr. Feelgood. Yeah, because everybody called my dad Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah, they had a topless car wash before their place got bulldozed and they got ran out of town. Drive-thrus aren't just for fast food anymore.
Are they not there anymore?
Oh no, Dr. Phil's gonna be gone. Now Blue Moon Video's still there. I don't know how. I mean, boy, I can't wait to go down to the place in my easily recognizable car and rent some porn from the porn place on the main road, the highway. Like, what the crap is wrong with you people? Like, you're supposed to wear a trench coat and like walk into the back of the video store, or use the internet. You crazy people. Jeez. A strip club in Oregon has had to alter its business model due to the coronavirus pandemic, which has forced restaurants, bars, and venues to close their dining and showrooms. So to help its employees continue to make money during the shutdown, the club opened up a drive-thru experience. Sean Bolden, owner of the Lucky Devil Lounge in Portland, told Fox News that the idea for... See, Fox News went and reported on the strip club. I wonder why.
I volunteer tribute!
That was really good. It came about if he was contracted by a local event company. I think the Lucky Devil's the one that also did the delivery service, the food that we reported on Staring at Goats like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I didn't want to bring the wrong kind of attention, he explained. He says the club has been following strict safety protocols since news of the outbreak broke. He didn't want to do something that would look like they aren't taking it seriously. After figuring out a way to pull off the idea while still keeping the dancers safe and maintaining social distancing, Bolden said the club's parking lot was transformed using tents, stages, musical equipment, and barricades. This is a lot like churches that are doing drive-up worship services, but with naked people.
Oh, that would be such a mistake to make.
And less Jesus. They're doing it a lot different. But like I've drove by a church out in the middle of North Carolina that was like drive up worship services on Sunday, and people just stay in their cars and they have speakers and
I mean, that's awesome.
That's cool. I mean, as long as you can social distance and not get out and shake hands or like lean over the window and I mean, dude, we stopped doing the whole turn around and shake hands thing a long time ago. Like, where it's like greet somebody next to you and like It's especially during flu season. It was like, don't shake anybody's hand. Just say hi, how you doing, and wave. We don't want anybody getting the flu. And it was like, wow. There's places where like the shaking of the hands at the beginning of service is a religious experience that has to be done, lest we all burn.
We didn't do that until I came down here. Like the churches I went to, like you'd get there early and talk to everybody, talk to the people and stuff. But like you would never stop for the service and then turn around and talk to people. Like you just chalk. So that was like a new thing down here. But like every church down here does that. They're like, turn around and shake someone's hand. And I'm like, I'm uncomfortable. Like I just spent 10 minutes talking to you and now I have to turn around and say hi to you again.
Oh, well, it's because sometimes you end up sitting somewhere and there's somebody new and you don't know who they are. And it's the opportunity to be like, hey, welcome, blah, blah, blah.
Yes. But normally the churches up there were so small that like if somebody new came in, send it upon anyway, right?
I remember I went to a church in Florida that was out in the middle of nowhere and you sign the thing and you pass it down like it was old school pew church. and you'd put it in, you'd pass it down. And then they actually did a visitation to our house once. They're like, we know you haven't been to church in a few weeks. And we were creasters.
Oh,
We were like Christmas and Easter people at best, but we tried because we were new to the area. And we went to this big old Southern church, and they came up in their car, and I'm out mowing the lawn. I'm like, oh, shoot, oh, shoot, oh, shoot. Church people. Oh, no, because I didn't really like the church. That's why I didn't go back.
Church people!
Yeah.
People!
I was like, they were like, hey, we see you hadn't been to church in a while. I was like, no, sir. My parents are inside. Bam. Mowing the lawn. Just, let them handle that.
I can't hear you.
I remember when one of the Methodist churches in where I used to live in Georgia, the pastor came by one night. He was just visiting, and my dad like going, clean up everything. Pastor's coming by. Like everything was, because you just have this. The Sears catalog is out. Oh gosh, sinners buying things. Put that away. It's like he was such a normal dude.
I forgot about that. Like when the pastor of the original church, I remember as a kid, like it was real weird, non-denominational thing. But like that was the church I grew up in. Like the pastor would come by and everybody would flip out. And I'm like, why though? Like I remember thinking, like, why?
Because they make you feel it's
For
us that
mentioning
do it to
Thank
them.
you, Kelly.
The Sears catalog. I remember.
Oh my god, you'd go the Christmas episode.
Just circle.
I just spit all over them. Like it's on the monitor.
You had a convulsion. Yeah, I remember.
Can you make your tongue ejaculate?
No, I can't. I haven't been able to do that in a while.
Jacob, he lifts his tongue and it just squirts like he's a squirter. Every
good.
time.
Oh, really? Okay.
Every time. It's so bizarre. Like overactive salivary glands.
I was gonna go somewhere about that, but I think I'm done. So there's a strip club with a drive-thru. Next, Ashley, your turn.
Okay, Swedish city to dump ton, TONNE, of chicken manure in park to deter. Oh my god, it was sand last week, and this time it's chicken poop smells like asshole, and it's full of arsenic. Like they're basically just gonna like arsenic the shit out of that area. This is not a good idea. I'm against this, Sweden.
I remember growing up near chicken houses downwind. You knew it was happening.
It's like, you know how like horse poop has a smell, but you're like, it's horse poop. So it's like like certain things are like an okay stink. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like you have a horse manure doesn't smell as bad as chicken manure, chicken poop.
Yeah. Like a pig pen or like a paper factory are not okay stinks.
Right, oh, paper
horse
factory is the
poop-
wrongest. The wrongest stink.
Yes. And for
But
some
horse
people,
poop's
skunk
fine.
or an
Skunk's
okay
pretty
stink.
bad. Skunk
Skunk is an okay stink for me. What is your okay stink?
Chicken houses kind of has. I know we just got done complaining about them, but when I smell chicken house stink, it kind of reminds me of home to some degree, because I remember driving past them and being like, "Whoa, what's that smell?" And now it brings back so many memories that I'm like, "Ugh, the chicken houses smell awful, but kind of all right at the same time."
Oh my god. Yeah, Kelly, when you muck out a stall that's got like a month-old horse caked at the bottom, that's not okay. That's rough.
Horse pee everywhere. Blah, blah.
Like it's a fermented horse pee. I think that's the rough. The
Jankum.
roughening.
Horse jankum. Pee and poop in the fermentation. You remember that's what that stuff was. We talked about this all the time.
I was just thinking, my brain was like, what a gross word.
It is a really gross word because it's a really gross thing. Don't
I think
Google that.
rotten pork is the worst smell I've ever smelled. Like,
oh gosh.
Like even refrigerator rotten pork is probably the most stomach. Just bleh, I don't want. The university town of Lund in Sweden is to dump a ton of chicken shit. It seems to laugh every time now. In its Central Park, in a bid to deter up to 30,000 residents from gathering there for traditional celebrations to mark Walpurgi Night.
Yeah, Walpurgis.
Walpurgis.
I mean, it's
Walrus.
Swedish. I don't know how that's pronounced.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know how to alphabet in Sweden. Lunch could very well become an epicenter for destruction for the spread of the coronavirus. So it was a good initiative. The chairman of the local council's environmental committee, Gustav Lundblad, said, because I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word with things. We get the Wait, you do it.
Sid Svinsken. I know a Swedish dude. We can call him up real quick. He'll have the answer.
Do it.
Oh, he's Swiss, not Swedish.
Voice.
Yellow, it's the Svinsken newspaper. I have to start with you. If I don't say yellow first, I can't find the accent. Yellow, this is the vendors calling for the Svinsken newspaper. I'm looking for Mr. Gustav Lundblad to answer some questions.
Oh my god, I have to pee so bad and the laughter's gonna make it shoot out. We get the opportunity. I kind of want you to read the rest of this in your accent.
No, it'll get exhausting.
We get the opportunity to fertilize the lawns, and at the same time, it will stink, and so may not. So, like, legitimately, they're just putting arsenic in the ground. This is such a stupid idea. Like, you don't fertilize shit with chicken shit.
Aren't the Swedes the ones that said they didn't lock down at all and they have like one death, but that's actually not true and they're probably going to have a major incident?
Oh, I don't know. That's bad. I haven't followed anything.
Swedish lockdown. I don't think they locked down at all. Oh, look, the first story I get is, can you beat COVID-19 without a lockdown? The Swedish experiment is to accept the coronavirus as a problem to be managed rather conclusively defeated. So yeah, Sweden is not on lockdown, despite the threat.
We can't. Like, I feel like we all know we can't defeat it, and this is how we're trying to manage it, is by lockdown until we figure out, actually manage it better.
Right.
Via vaccinations and such.
Let's see. Sweden has... I mean, Sweden's deaths are pretty bad. They actually predict them to get way worse. They're like 185 a day, 84 a day, 172 a day. Yeah, they're not great. They're expecting 17. I don't mean to laugh. I just mean to look at the absurdity of the fact that they didn't lock down. They're like, we're just gonna ride it out while people die left and right.
Well, I mean, like, I think we're all writing it out, right? Like, this is us trying to write it out. However, we're trying to manage what we can, how we can.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only way we know to do it. It's not great by any means, but until we get better tools, this is the only tool we have, so let's use it. Like, you need a Phillips head, but all you have is a flathead. So you use the flathead until you go to the store and get a Phillips head.
Mm-hmm. But if all you have is a Phillips head and you need a flathead, you've got a problem.
That's probably more accurate.
Mm-hmm. The flat will work a Phillips, but the Phillips won't work a flat, if you know what I mean.
Why did you make that sound sexual?
I don't know. I didn't mean to. You went there. You're the pervert.
I'm not a fertilizer expert, but as I understand it, it is clear that it might smell a bit outside the park as well, and Blad admitted. These are chicken shits, after all, he said droppings. I've changed everything to shits because it makes Steven laugh. I cannot guarantee that the rest of the city will be odorless, but the point is to keep people out of the city park. Sweden has opted for a light touch approach to containing COVID-19, eschewing the strict lockdowns imposed by its Nordic neighbors and much of the rest of Europe, and favoring personal responsibility over draconian enforcement. People cannot be responsible for themselves.
You know, it's a bummer because they should be, and I am not a fan of authoritarian or draconian enforcement of anything. But I also, well, no, okay, here's the thing. I'm not a fan of draconian enforcement, but if we're not going to draconian enforce, then we need to have civilian exercising their right to beat the bejesus out of people that are wrong. And you want to do so. That's the thing.
I will strap a baby to my chest to go beat the shit out of people.
So that just made me think of the best video game character in the world. Like, you're scrolling through your beat 'em up game, and it's like the lady with a baby on her, and you get to use her as as one of the superpowered people that are going down the street punching people in the face. Like that.
Do you remember the movie Shoot 'Em Up that had Clive Owen in it, and he had the baby?
I never watched it. I have
not.
Oh
my God, Steven, you have to. Davy Stravis. I want to be on your show again. It was so good. It was so ridiculously good. It was so good. You need to watch that.
All I know about it
is
okay. Well, never mind. I can't spoil it for him.
So good.
We're gonna just take over Travis's show. I haven't seen a lot of movies. Let's do this. No, I don't even
care
know
who you have on there, but you guys need to watch it and do it. It could be you two. It would make me so happy.
Yeah, no going into labor next time. Oh, that's great. But anyway, that's the end of the show. Ashley's got to pee. There's a baby somewhere around there that I feel is a ticking time bomb. Or at least mine was. Mine was a time bomb.
It's been 2 hours since I fed, so it's
a time
bomb. Wanting food soon.
For sure. But we want to just take an opportunity to thank you guys for showing up to Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. We could not do this show without you being here, particularly people like Joel Aaron, who submits the greatest images in the world to this show. No time for Jong. Richard Simmons is poking his head out of the bottom of a cruise ship. Just, I don't even know. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Just, if you're not in the chat clicking that link, you've made a mistake, and it's the best. I actually save all of these in a folder on my computer, so I have them forever.
That's such a good idea. Like, we should have like a total thing dedicated to that on the website.
Oh,
on the Discord.
We should put it on legionofdorks.com. We could get a photo album page and just throw all of Joel Aaron's work in there.
Yes.
He's great. But yeah, so hey, give us a review if you got some time on your favorite podcasting service of choice. If you haven't given us a review before, consider it. It's really helpful. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm Steve H Nation. Ashley is Fate Kills, PHATE Kills. Even though she's not on Twitter because Twitter sucks. But I'm there.
I'm on Discord.
Yeah, and she's on Discord a lot, which you can go join us on the Discord. Please jump in there. Put it on your phone, your computer, whatever. It's particularly if you work a desk job. There's no better thing than to get distracted all day by the conversation going on in there. We always know when everyone's busy because it's quiet. I'm like, people must be working today. But yeah, if you want to help out the show, you can tip us at twodorks.net/tip or join us on Patreon at patreon.com/twodorks, where you can get the pre-show. If you show up late for the stream, you don't want to watch the VOD on Twitch, you just want it fed to you over your phone, $1 will get you in. And you can get the pre-show on its own little RSS feed for you, and it's great. And we're gonna leave you guys with this words of wisdom from Aleph Abisad. He says, "Confidence is like food seasoning. Without it, your food is bland, but too much of it, and you have to throw it out completely." That's very true. That's very true. Ask Jacob about the sage turkey one year or whatever that he talks about. I remember that. Too much sage is too much. We'll see you guys next time on Horseshoes and Hand Grenades.